requests and questions about why I'm learning Japanese, and I thought it'd be a really good topic to actually do a video about. I've just finished N4 and I'm into N3. If you don't know Japanese, it goes from N5 to N4, 3, 2 and 1. N1's the highest. A lot of people find Japanese really easy. I don't know who those people are, but if you're out there, because I've seen loads of comments in lots of apps that I use, like I use HelloTalk a lot just to correct my Japanese sentences and things. Who are they? And can you give me their brain, please? Because I really, it is easy in some respects, but in all the other ways it's so hard, and I'm just like, can you just tell me who these people are and give me their brain? I decided I would make a video on why I'm learning Japanese. There are lots of reasons really, but I thought I'd kind of just go through them. I've got friends that are also learning Japanese for various reasons, and I know a lot of people have lots of different reasons. So I'll go into why I started learning Japanese. I'm trying to remember when the first time that I had an interest in Japan was, and it actually wasn't until quite late. And I really remember just kind of being really interested with the alphabet. I just think it looks really, I mean, on a basic level it just looked really cool, and I was like, yeah, okay, looks cool. I will start with awkward or like depressing reason first, just to get it out of the way, and then we can talk about all the fun stuff. I must have been about 4 years ago, I was going through, like, I would say it was the worst time of my life. Like, honestly, not to sound dramatic, but I've had great times, I've had bad times. This was the worst time of my life. I was really struggling with a lot of things that were going on in my life and my mental health, and I just kind of like really needed an escape, and I needed something that my brain could think about that was just completely separate to my life, with nothing to do with my life. So I started picking up Japanese. I could have really ended up learning any language really, but I just wanted a language that was more difficult than European language. Whilst it was kind of born out of a bad situation, I actually I'm really happy that that situation led to me learning Japanese, because I think it's like made when I think of that situation now, I don't just think of the bad things, I think of the fact that something so great has come from something so bad. So I was like, yeah, I'll pick Japan. So that's how I started kind of getting into Japanese. And I was like, oh god, I picked up some like flashcards and started learning the basics, like the hiragana, katakana, alphabets. I started getting really into that. And then after a few weeks I was like, you know what, I'm going to sign up for classes, because I feel like this isn't a language that you can easily navigate by yourself. I think it's easier if you've learned a language before, because then you know how to learn a language, but I think it's still quite a hard language to navigate. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to classes. So I just googled language classes in London, and I found a group of classes at International House, which is in central London. So I got there, and I think the first level, the lowest level, was about 14 people in the class, and I think each level was probably about, I can't remember if it was 10 weeks, but as the levels progressed, like less and less people were coming to the classes just because it was too difficult. And so it was better because there were less people in the classes. I'd actually just done the lowest level of classes when I decided I was going to go to Japan, so I just last minute, I think at 3 weeks notice, I just booked to go to Japan, and off I went. I mean, I couldn't really speak it, I'd been learning it for 6 weeks, if anyone else knows what it's like at the 6-week point with learning Japanese, but I hadn't been before to Japan, and I was like, no, I need to go by myself, I need to like really push myself, because if I'm gonna speak it or learn it, I have to be alone, because otherwise I'm the kind of person that I've got anxiety, and so if somebody else is next to me I'll depend on them, but if I'm travelling alone then I have no one else to depend on, I like have to depend on myself. So I booked tickets to go to Japan, and I got there and I couldn't understand anything, like I didn't know kanji yet, and I was basically just yeah, just exploring without really any language skills, but it was really, really fun. I decided I should probably try the trip to Japan because I realised how difficult the language was going to be, and I thought to myself, well, what if I don't like the country? Like, what if I, you know, go through all this effort to learn this language and then I get there and it's like, I don't really like it. I'd never ever really been into like anime, like manga, anything like that. But I got really, really into Japanese literature, so like Haruki Murakami and Banana Yoshimoto, and I got really into their novels, and I was like, God, the way that Japanese is translated, I read them in English, just to clarify, but it really got me interested in the culture, and I was like, I just want to see this world that they kind of paint. There are other reasons though, like I really got into Studio Ghibli and kind of like the more realistic animations, so I really got into those, and obviously as I got into illustration I just became really interested in Japanese illustration. In addition, I was also really inspired by Japanese fashion. I love Japanese fashion magazines. I've always been into like cosmetics. I love Japanese foundation, it just goes on really nice. The people that I've met, both in lessons and also in Japan, have just been like they've just made my life so much richer. Thank you for keep supporting my videos and watching.